Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. Today is Saturday, June 14th, 2025, and that means it's time for a brand new master topic. All right, so the master topic for this week is Wisdom for Life, Truth, and Connection, Series 4, Show 25, episode. Of course, we're on number 1. All right. So if you are new here, I want to take this opportunity to personally welcome you to the Inspirations for Your Life show. If you are coming back, well, welcome back, my friends. It's always great to have my trusty friends and colleagues coming back to see some great information. So thank you for choosing to come back. I really do appreciate that. Hey, friends, if you are thirsty, whether it's something you want like a juice or some water like I have here, or you want a snack, something healthy, something sweet, tart, or not, that's up to you. Head over to your kitchen and come on back to me so we can kick off this amazing show. All right, guys. And do be sure to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. As I said, welcome everyone to the show. I am John C. Morley, a serial entrepreneur, podcast host, coach, and video producer, and many other things, and your go-to space for unlocking wisdom that transforms everyday living into purposeful journeys. In this episode, I'm going to dive deep, guys, into the pillars of growth, truth, and connection, the foundational elements that empower us to navigate life with clarity, resilience, whether you're facing challenges or celebrating wins. This conversation will inspire you to embrace change, seek honesty, and build meaningful relationships that fuel your soul and success. So, is everybody ready? Let's get started and ignite your path to lasting fulfillment. Hurry on back from that kitchen because I know that you've got what you need and we need to kick this show off. All right, everyone? So, number 1, embracing personal growth through challenges. Growth doesn't happen, folks, in comfort zones. I said this before. It's forged in the fires of challenges. When we face obstacles head on, we develop resilience, strength, and self awareness. These moments push us to adapt, learning, and expand beyond what we thought possible. By welcoming challenges as, of course, I'm going to say opportunities, and that is basically the thing and the big key to life, rather than setbacks, we cultivate a mindset that fuels continuous evolution and prepares us for whether ever life's going to throw us our way. I think when we are prepared with a backup plan, it's like magic can suddenly happen. But if we don't have that backup plan, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so I think that goes through a lot of people's heads, to be quite honest with you. Number 2, you ready for number 2? All right. Number 2 is the importance of seeking and valuing truth. Truth is the compass that guides us through uncertainty. Seeking truth means being honest with ourselves and others, even when it's uncomfortable. Valuing truth fosters trust and clarity in relationships and decisions. It allows us to cut through noise and, of course, deception, aligning our actions with reality. This pursuit builds integrity and really authenticity, the cornerstones of meaningful, lasting success. But a lot of people don't do this. And the reason they don't do this is they get stuck because they put themselves in their own way. I mean, I think that's something that is pretty remarkable, right? They get stuck in their own way. And when you're stuck in your own way, it's like, how do I get out of my way, right? Like, how do you get out of your way? I think that's a challenge for, I'm going to say, a lot of people. How do you get out of your way? I mean, how does that happen? Well, you have to realize, first of all, that you're in your own way. And then once you're in your way, well, then you know what you can do? Well, you easily can actually get out of your way. So I think that's a very, very important thing to understand. And I'm hoping that you guys definitely, embrace that, because it's our truth that really sets us free. Number 3, guys, taking responsibility in your life and, of course, your community. True empowerment comes from owning your role in your personal story and the community around you. Taking responsibility means acknowledging your influence, choices, and your impact that you make. It encourages proactive behavior where you become a positive force, inspiring others and driving change. By stepping up, we contribute to stronger communities and create environments where everyone can thrive. And that's another important point. Most people don't realize that you can thrive together. You see, if you just do something, right, and you go through the motions, well, you're not going to be successful with it. You're just going to be, um, let's say, at ends, you're just going to survive. And nobody wants to survive. We want to thrive. We want to succeed with immense success. Number 4, cultivating hope and a positive mindset. Hope is the fuel, guys, that keeps the fire burning when times get tough. Cultivating a positive mindset doesn't mean ignoring difficulties. It means choosing to focus on possibilities, solutions, and growth. This mindset creates mental and emotional resilience, helping you bounce back quicker and maintaining motivation. It is all about hope because hope opens doors to innovation, creativity, and new beginnings. And that's another big point that many people miss. They miss the whole concept of what is hope. And hope is really the fuel that gives us the stamina to move forward. And I think that's a very big thing. Number 5, building meaningful relationships and collaboration. Humans are wired, guys, for connection. If you don't remember me saying this before, I've said that before. Building authentic relationships provides support, encouragement, and a sense of belongingness. Collaboration harnesses diverse strengths and ideas, creating outcomes greater than the sum of their parts. Investing in relationships enriches both personal and professional life, making challenges easier and success a lot sweeter. But too often people rush off to get these things. And then you know what happens? They're just going through the motions of life. And that sounds like something that's really crazy, but people do this all the time, right? They do this all the time. And you might say to me, John, how does that happen? Well, it happens because you get into this pattern, right? And this pattern is something that I feel a lot of people like they don't understand, right? And so by not understanding it, I'm hoping that you will realize you need to make these jumps in your life, right? You need to make these jumps. And when you make these jumps, you create this type of collaboration, which allows your brain to say, hey, you know what? This didn't work last time, but I've got a way we can make it work. Right? All right. Number 6, lifelong curiosity and continuous learning. See, curiosity keeps our minds vibrant and our spirits engaged. Embracing lifelong learning means never settling for enough, always seeking new knowledge, skills, and perspectives. This habit not only sharpens your abilities, but also fosters adaptability in an ever-changing world. Continuous learning fuels innovation and personal fulfillment. Number 7, guys, leading with integrity and consistency. Leadership is rooted in integrity, and that means that aligning actions with values consistently is the way. It builds trust and inspires loyalty because people know what to expect and see authentically in your choices. Consistent integrity, okay, creates a stable foundation for influence, enabling you to lead others effectively and ethically through challenges and opportunities alike. But you might be saying, John, how does that even work? So it comes down to the fact that when you do something over and over again, you build trust. People understand your character because they don't know you from Adam, right? Number 8, appreciating everyday beauty and the wonder that's around us. Finding joy in the simple everyday moments enriches life's journey. Appreciating beauty, whether in nature, human connection, or small victories, grounds us in gratitude and presence. This practice reduces stress, enhances creativity, and reminds us that life's richness often lies in the details we might otherwise overlook. I think that's a very, very important point. Many times, guys, we actually overlook the things that we need to do. Okay. And this happens because we become very complacent. Right. And the joy that we're looking for actually is around. But you know what happens, guys? We block the joy in our life. Okay. We block that joy. And then we're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Because suddenly we've built ourselves into a corner or a box. And we don't know how to change that. Okay. So I think that's a very, very important thing. And that means something. That really does mean something. Number 9, connecting purpose with action. Purpose gives direction, folks, but action brings it to life. Aligning your daily decisions and habits with your core value turns aspirations into reality. When purpose drives your choices, motivation deepens, and fulfillment, well, soon follows. You see, this connection creates momentum, turning dreams into measurable achievements and inspiring those around you to do the same. You see, what happens, guys, is we cannot change something that we don't measure. So we have to make sure that we're able to measure everything. If we can't measure it, then how are we ever going to get anywhere in life? We're not. We're going to keep leading ourselves in this great big circle of life. And the circle that kind of confuses us to, well, can we do this or can we not do this? And I think that's a huge problem for, a lot of people, that we believe one thing, but then you know what happens? We just get lost and we lose our way. I think that's a very, very big problem. Okay. A very, very big problem. And so you might be saying, John, why? I think it's just people's makeup, and how they act and how they react. But the real truth of the matter comes down to you, how you're showing up, your character in everyday life. Because there are going to be people in this world, guys, I got to tell you this, that are going to rain on your parade. They're going to tell you, oh, you know what, you can't do this. I had one professor, no joke. You guys know I'm going for my master's and my PhD. That she said to me, she says, John, don't study so much, because if you do that, well, then you're going to know more than I do. I was like, that was really rude to say, but they said it. So I think that's interesting. Anyway, this is the most favorite part of the show that I like. And I'm going to give you a personal lesson or story about each point. And the reason I'm going to do this is because when I do this, it'll helpfully solidify the point and allow you to apply it to your own life. When we give examples, then we're able to make it concrete. But for some reason, guys, examples don't always follow with things in life. And you know why? It's because the person sharing it doesn't really have the experience. Now, that's not to rank on them, but if you want to get advice, you want to talk to somebody who's had the experience in that field, right? So let's start with number 1, embracing personal growth through challenges. I remember a time early in my career when a business deal I'd poured months into completely working on just collapsed. Felt like a punch to the gut. Rather than give up, I stepped back. I analyzed what went wrong and committed to improving my negotiation skills and business planning. This was in my real infancy, maybe second or third year of a tech company. The setback became one of my most powerful teachers. It pushed me to grow not only professionally, but emotionally, showing me that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Failure is not failure as long as we keep going, as long as we don't stop. Failure is not really failure. Number 2, guys, the importance of seeking and valuing truth. I know so many people that tell me, they're really about truth, but then when I find out they're not really about truth, they're placating people. I think that's a huge problem for A lot of people, um, they just don't understand, for whatever reason. They are living, they're living this weird kind of world. Okay. I mean, a very weird kind of world. And so, number two, the importance of seeking and valuing truth. There was a point of time where I had to make a tough call about a long time business relationship. I started noticing inconsistencies and felt something was off. Instead of ignoring the signs, I sought clarity and uncovered truths that ultimately protected my business and values. It wasn't easy, but choosing truth over comfort taught me that honesty, even when hard, leads to freedom and alignment. So I'll tell you a little bit about the story, a little bit deeper. So this company was out of the country, and I had invested not only a lot of money, but a lot of my personal time traveling out of the country to meet these people. And there was something that just didn't jar right. And that was, or I should say, click. So we noticed in this business, this was a vendor of ours that we were buying point of sale systems from. They were the software developer. And I noticed that anybody that didn't have a service contract, well, they certainly had problems. Now, they could basically add products to the machines and sync like that. But the one thing they couldn't do? They couldn't get their proper sales. So they couldn't tell what they were really doing. I called them, and they always helped us out with a couple of these. But when we got down to the meeting where things were going to get real and big, we had signed a non-disclosure and all that. And then they shared with me that was actually part of their business process. And I was like, huh? Well, John, now that you've signed a non-disclosure, we can share it with you. You're one of us. We did that to ensure that we got service contracts. If you notice, you always had problems. We kind of build a little of a time bomb into the software. I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, John, it may not be the greatest thing, but hey, it makes sure we get paid. And so the ones that didn't pay, they would allow it to work for maybe a couple weeks. And then you know what? It happened again. And I was noting this. And so I asked them, and they said, yeah, that's how we work. And so after that, I made a decision coming back home to the United States. And I said, you know what? I know this is a huge opportunity, but I don't want to work with these people anymore. I called them up and said, hey, I appreciate the opportunity. I just feel that your values don't align with ours. And I'm not going to lie to customers and play games to try to get them to pay us more money. Like, that's just wrong. So we broke away. Number three, taking responsibility in your life and your community. Years ago, I joined a community board where I initially felt like a bystander. Okay. One meeting, a heated discussion came up about a local initiative. And instead of staying silent, I spoke up, offered ideas, and volunteered to lead. That moment changed everything. I realized that taking responsibility isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being accountable, and being willing to shape the future together. Most people will complain, but you know what they'll never do? They'll never offer you solutions. So if you got people that just for whatever reason don't seem to step up, they always seem to complain, there's a reason for that, guys. There is a reason for that. And I'm hoping that you can understand where I'm coming from. And it's pretty simple, right? Cultivating hope and a positive mindset. During a period when business was slow, right around the COVID time, and uncertainty was high, I began a daily gratitude and visualization practice. I'd wake up and remind myself of what was going well, even if it was just a kind message or a warm cup of coffee or tea. Because over time, this habit rewired how I handled stress. It didn't make problems disappear, but it gave me the mental clarity to focus and face them with optimism and renewed energy. Number 5, building meaningful relationships and collaboration. Some of the most successful projects I've led weren't solo efforts. They were born out of powerful collaborations. One in particular stands out. I partnered with one group whose style was the complete opposite of ours. At first, we clashed, hands down. But with some mutual respect, and open communication, we created something far better than either of us could have done alone. That experience taught me that connection isn't about sameness, it's about synergies. And where you're good and where they might be good, you might be lacking, and vice versa. So that's an important thing. Number 6, lifelong curiosity and continuous learning. This has to be hands down, guys, one of my favorite things. Okay. It's important. Okay. And I'm hoping that if you understand this, it'll hit home. I never stop learning, guys. I sometimes get made fun of for continuing to learn, even going back to school and going back to my master's and my PhD. And I don't want to stop learning. A few years ago, I signed up for a course online. Even though it was outside of my main business focus, that course not only expanded my knowledge, but gave me insights I applied immediately to grow my brand. Lifelong learning keeps me energized and open to new possibilities. It's one of the greatest investments I've made in myself. My question for you today is, how have you invested in yourself lately? Or have you invested in yourself? And if you haven't invested, I have one question for you. Why not? Because anybody that does not invest in themselves, that's not good. Okay, that is just not a very, very good thing. And I'm hoping that you can appreciate that. All right? I'm hoping that you can appreciate that. And maybe you might learn something from that. No pun intended, right? So remember, you need to invest in yourself. You're very important. Number 7, leading with integrity and consistency. I once had a chance to cut a corner on a big project to save time and a huge amount of money. Everyone told me to just go for it. But I knew deep down it would compromise the integrity of my work and what I stood for and believed in. And so I stuck to my values. And while it took longer, the results were exceptional. And my clients' trust deepened into us. Leading with integrity isn't always the easiest path, guys, but it's the one that builds real lasting respect. Number 8, appreciating everyday beauty and wonder. This is one that I think a lot of people, they miss. And I think they miss it because they just don't understand what it stands for. Okay. And so when I say appreciate, one morning I was walking to my office and saw the sun rising over the skyline. I stopped just for 30 seconds, just to take it all in. That small movement grounded me more than anything on my to-do list that day. It reminded me that beauty isn't something we have to search for. It's right in front of our eyes. If we're present enough to notice it and living in the moment, there's plenty of beauty around us. Number 9, connecting purpose with action. This is something I hear a lot of people say they're going to do, but they really don't. I think the reason that happens is because a lot of people just believe in action. They don't believe in the core values, or maybe they do, but they sacrifice them or change them just because it's going to get them to a financial goal faster. That's wrong. When I started my very first podcast, which was the Tech Show, it wasn't just about sharing knowledge. It was about helping others grow. I took that purpose and built routines, episodes, and outreach around it. Every action I took aligned with my deeper why. The feedback I get today and from years in the past are stories from listeners about how an episode helped them. It shows that when you pair passion with consistent action, you create real, lasting live impact in your lives. And although this stuff might sound like common sense, it's not. people are so willing to just do whatever they need to make money. I think that's a problem with our world and our society, that people can just do that because they think if they sacrifice what they stand for, then they'll get to where they want faster. It might appear that they're getting there faster, but guess what, guys? They're cutting corners. There was a great commercial not too long ago. You probably remember Wendy's. You remember the commercial at Wendy's? It was on, oh gosh, many, many years ago. The commercial from Wendy's. If you guys remember the commercial, it was the Wendy's commercial. Where is the beef? And so there was a lady and two other ladies, and and Les Bun. Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there. You want something? And so it's pretty amazing, right? How that happens. I think a lot of times we're looking for value. And it became, of course, an overnight sensation when she inspected that fluffy hamburger bun that lacked in the beef department. She said, "Where's the beef?" Right? It's been a catchphrase since 1984 with Wendy's. But I think a lot of people sometimes get hooked on the wrong words or the wrong concepts. And they think that's the way to grow because maybe you're not growing as fast as someone else. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe not. And so what I want to tell you is don't sacrifice what you stand for. Okay? Just to get ahead or to make a bigger profit. Because even though you'll reach that bigger profit today, you're going to be living with integrity issues down the road that you really didn't do what you meant to do. I think that's a big, important thing. And a lot of people that don't follow that are going to be second-guessing themselves to say, hey, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And it comes down to this. It comes down to appreciating our wisdom, to appreciating the growth that we have, the truth, and what makes that connection live. Really special. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll catch you real soon. Have a fantastic evening, everyone.